Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's me, Brandon. I'm over here doing another comic book review, and this is from last week's comic books. So, get set, get ready, let's go. Okay, first of all, we introduce you to the Wildstorm. And this, in DC comic books, is Earth 50. I really like this book because, first of all, they're bringing back everybody from the Wildstorm universe. Not everybody's going to be in it, but most of them are going to be in it. Like Grifter and basically all the heroes from the Wildstorm universe are going to be in there. So, I really liked it. I really like this book. It sets up a good introduction to what's going to happen in the Wildstorm comic book series. And this series, as you can tell from numbers 1 to 24, it's going to go for a 2-year run, which means it's going to end on the 24th month, which is like 2 years from now. So it'll end, let's see, February. I got this one in February. So February 2019, 2019. This will end. And for the first issue of this, I really loved it. I really did. And if I were you guys, I would buy this. This is a really good comic book, and I rate this a 9 out of 10. Just because of the graphics and the setting and the paintings that were in there. Well, not like paintings, but like how everything contrasts in this comic book. Like how everything contrasts from dark to white. Like you could center in on this person because this person over here is grabbing your attention. The person in the red jacket's grabbing your attention. And I liked it. I like the contrast. I like how the cover makes it eye-catching for the audience to view on this person right here. The person with the white hair. I like it. So I rate this a 9 out of 10. What I want to do? Next up is Harley Quinn. I rate this as a 9 out of 10 because I thought it was hilarious. I thought that the story was good. And I liked that Power Girl herself. Kara Zor-El from Earth 2 is in this comic book. I liked it. And the villain is pretty interesting, although we don't know the villain's name per se, but he is pretty damn interesting. And I can't help it, but I liked it when Harley said, butt money and butt band-aids. I thought it was hilarious. I cracked up. It was just funny. It was funny. Like, oh my god, it was funny. That's why I rate this at 9 out of 10. I'll do Justice League Timeless Part 2. And this one was a good book. I mean, oh my god, it was a good book. It was very, very well paced out. It was very, very well paced out. And I liked how all the Justice League members are in different time eras and different time history. I just liked it. I liked how they're just like in different times and different histories and different parts of the world in different times. I like it. It's really good. It's just really, really good. And, of course, I gotta admit, I gotta admit, I loved this part right here. This part where Brainiac meets Cyborg. And this is not Brainiac like Superman Brainiac. This is Brainiac 5. Brainiac 5 of the Legion of Superheroes in the year 3000. I loved it. Now, if they could make a Legion of Superhero comic books in the DC Rebirth storyline, that would be awesome. I would totally buy that book, and I'm not joking around. Just seeing Brainiac right here in the Justice League comic book, it means that the Legion of Superheroes is in the DC Rebirth timeline. Yes, I'm not joking around. They're in the timeline of the DC Rebirth storyline, and I loved it. I loved it. Yeah. Basically, this whole storyline just... it's kind of like a time travel storyline, basically. Basically, you know, something happens, you go forward in time to fix it, and then after you fix it, you return back to your timeline where nothing has ever happened, like the same situation never happened before. And I liked it. Because it's one of those stories, you know, where an event happens, you go forward in time, you fix the event, and then the event that brought you to that timeline never happened. Which I liked. And I think that this entire event of the Timeless event is going to be like that. I'm pretty sure that Superman and the Justice League are going to go forward in time, fix whatever's happening, then go back in time and figure out, oh, you know, the time that they were there before they went over to the newer time, like before they went forward in time, it never happened. So I liked it. And I know it's pretty complicating, but it was a really good story. It was a really good story. I would rate this a 9 out of 10. Just because of awesomeness factor. Next up, we have Green Arrow. And this is not pre-New 52 Green Arrow. This is New 52 Green Arrow, but in the old Green Arrow costume. And this is where he meets up Roy Harper. Not for the first time. They've met countless times before. This is just a way for Roy Harper to go towards the Green Arrow series, the Green Arrow comic books, in the current timeline. And basically, you know, just basically, he's kind of like one of those people that has to, like, you know, I'm trying to think of the word. He's kind of like one of those people that are down on their luck. You know, they're down on their luck. And they have to do whatever it means to get money. Whether if it's bribing someone or stealing a person's wallet. That's Roy Harper. That's Roy Harper right there. And I loved in the beginning issue of the entire comic book series where Green Arrow meets up with Roy Harper, but not Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. Yes, he meets up with Green Arrow. With Red Arrow for the first time. And I liked it. I really, really liked it. Because it tells us what happened like a couple years ago, and then it has to tell us what happened now, which I liked. And basically, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. It's just basically Green Arrow meets up with Red Arrow, when they met up the first time, and now when they meet up again. When they meet up again, things are totally different. Because DC, DC tied this entire ending to a current event. Trying to think. To a current event. There we go. It's just kind of hard right now. And the current event was the Dakota pipelining issue. And I loved this comic book ending. Because he tells Green Arrow, this is all your fault. This is your fault for doing this. For putting the oil pipelines in Dakota. And I loved it. This was a current event issue, and I loved how DC tied it up with Green Arrow and I loved how they put Red Arrow in the situation with Green Arrow. This right here, this entire ending, 9 out of 10. Just 'cause. It's a 9 out of 10. And I liked it. Nine out of 10 for that one. Next up, we have Bombshells. This is a really good comic book, especially if you're a person like me that likes to read things from a female perspective sometimes. This is a really good comic book, and just between you and me, I really like the cover. It's pretty good. This is a good cover. They could have chosen another kind of cover, but this is a good cover because it reintroduces Supergirl into the Bombshell series. We haven't seen Supergirl since issue 12. This is issue 23. We haven't seen her in 11 issues. Yeah, we haven't seen her in 11 issues. And I really like the part where they told us everything that happened in issue 12 and how it happened with the current situation with Wonder Woman, Vixen, and all the other bombshells. I loved it. And the current situation is the Baroness in this comic book is controlling these mechanical animal gods from Zambezia or Zambia. I don't know what country. I forget what country Vixen was from. I think it's like Zambezia or something like that. But yeah, she controls these 3 mechanical gods, and somehow she combines them into a fourth mechanical god, and it's kind of like a rhinoceros, but like in a battle suit armor kind of way, you know? I'll show you it right here. Well, it's not kind of a, it's not a rhinoceros, it's a battle suit armor, and I love it. It's awesome. It's just awesome. And I liked it how it comes back to the part where Wonder Woman meets up with Vixen and Hawkgirl and all the other bombshells. Because last we saw her, she blew up, you know, she was blowing up part of the robot, the battle suit armor that the Baroness was in, and we saw that Wonder Woman emerged out of the tank, and that's where we see her right now. And I liked it really, really well. It was really good. And I liked it how they introduced Kryptonite, which was like the best. It is the best. Ultimate weak substance to Kryptonians. And I liked how they introduced the invisible jet, but it's not Wonder Woman that drives the invisible jet. No, it's Lex Luthor. He is driving the invisible jet, which is like so awesome on so many levels. And trying to think. And then afterwards, you know, this is all before. Afterwards, while they continue to go up against the Baroness, they all kind of, well, Wonder Woman and Batgirl and Vixen and Hawkgirl and everybody else, they all kind of team up against the the battle suited Baroness woman, and let's just say she knocks the crap out of Wonder Woman and all of the other allies. She knocks the crap out of them. And I love it. It was just awesome. And we find out that this version of Hawkgirl is Thanagarian. I repeat, Thanagarian. Meaning she's an alien from another world called Thanagar. And I loved how they tied everything up with the main DC universe into that comic book issue. I loved it. I loved it. It was just great. And yeah, it was great. It was great, really. It was awesome. It was just great. And we get to see her going up against Vixen in the end. Oh yeah. You know how this is gonna end. It's not gonna end well for anybody. And I rate this a 9 out of 10. Okay. Next up we have The Fall and Rise of Captain Atom. Yes, it's great. It's a good comic book series. It basically picks up after the Captain Atom series of the New 52, basically picks it up where it left off in 2013. And it was great. Because now he goes back into 1990, lives out his few years in 1990. Then we find out he had coitus with another woman, and the woman is his wife. She's like right on the cover right there. And now they have a 17-year-old son. And you don't see that until the end of the book. And I really liked it because Captain Atom is now reddish grayish color. He's like a now reddish grayish color, and it's just really good. It's really good how they transitioned his blue skin color to like a red skin color. And it's just great. It's great. I liked it. Because now they put him into today. 2017. They put him into 2017. And it's just awesome. It's just great. I'm really excited to see where all this is going. Seriously, I am really excited to see where all this is going. I think that all of this is going to I think that all of this is going to go to the DC Rebirth. Like, it's going to be set into DC Rebirth, but I'm not entirely sure. But it doesn't say that it is. We know it is. But it just doesn't say it. And I liked it. I like this entire issue. I could just talk on and on and on and on about it, but just seeing him blowing up a huge chunk of rock, pure awesomeness right there. It's just pure awesomeness. And we find out that they have a 17-year-old son. We don't know who he is, but they have a 17-year-old son. He may be the new Captain Atom, but I'm not entirely sure about it. But we don't know until, like, probably the 5th or 6th issue, so I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Just an 8 out of 10 on this one. Okay. Last but not least is Aquaman, the Forever War. Or Warhead, sorry, but it says no escape from Forever War. Basically, I don't have to tell you this. Basically, Aquaman is kind of like in one of those telepathic minefields where, you know, he knows that everything is not real, but he can still see it, and it's like still hear the pain and suffering with all the other people that, you know, that Warhead has gone up against. And basically Warhead punches him, he punches back, he punches him again. And then basically, you know, he's still stuck in that minefield, kind of. And then they go back into the real world, you know, punching and slugging each other, you know, until blood comes out. That sort of thing. And then, you know, they're kind of like in two different worlds at once. He's in the mind field, and now they're like in the physical field, you know. They're both like happening at the same time, and that's why I really liked it. Just the entire fight, I really liked it. Then afterwards, he tells him about, you know, Atlantis and how, you know, he can't, like, he won't be, like, against, you know, I'm trying to think of something, sorry about that. He won't be, like, controlled of, you know, by everybody because he'll be in Atlantis where he can be, like, you know, away from everybody. And then afterwards, a few punches here and there and, a few punches back from Aquaman, and after that he gives him a hand, and then after that that Warhead gives him like this painful godforsaken just he gives him the telepathic control, but with steroids. It's like, it's just like Aquaman's telepathic control, but like on steroids. It's like that awesome. It's just really good. It's really awesome. And then afterwards, Warhead finally sees that, that Aquaman is just trying to help him out, basically. He's just trying to help him out, and afterwards they go up, he gives him a hand, gives him a hand to help him up. Then afterwards, I shouldn't say that. While he does that, they keep chatting about whatever the conversation had to do in this issue. And basically the entire conversation was him talking to Siu. And, him talking about, like, oh, when our minds were connected, whoa, what did you see? Oh, I saw all this. And basically, it's just people having to deal with Aquaman. Whether they should like him or not like him. Whether they should make fun of him or not make fun of him. Whether they should consider him a threat or whether they could consider him as a joke. And I really liked it. I really liked that panel. Because basically it connects to the real world and how we think of Aquaman. We think of him as a joke. But in comic book land, when we read comic books, he is a badass, serious character that will go down fighting in a Blades of Glory. And I'm not kidding. He will go down in a Blades of Glory. He'll be like the last man standing. If there was a major conflict, he would be like the last man standing. I'm not joking. That's how serious he is. Aquaman will be like the last man standing. Yeah. That's how serious he is. And then afterwards, the U.S. and the federal agents come in and bust open the door. But, Aquaman tells him, hey, Siu is, not considered a threat, so just back off. Just back off. I can take care of him. I'll put him in with Atlantis. I'll take care of him. And the U.S. federal agents, they let him do that because they know that if they don't let him do that, he's going to kick all their butts. So, yeah. Then afterwards, in Amnesty Bay, he meets up with his wife, Queen Mara, and they have a chat. Just a short chat. Then afterwards, he goes ahead and sees like his kind, I guess you could say commander-in-chief? No. Sees his commanders, and they tell him, oh, there's a woman that's, with the Aquamarines, and she wants to tell you something. And basically she tells him about the dead water, which, that's really good panel right there. Hold on. That's a really good panel right there. And I would rate this a 10 out of 10 because I liked how there was two settings in that major fight. There was that minefield setting and there was the physical world setting. And I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. But yeah, that's my comic book review for YouTube for this week. So, yeah, just give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe to my channel, Comic Book Yu-Gi-Oh! Life Entertainer, and I will see you next time. Peace!